Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? What's up? We're in a series talking about when relationships suck, because we've all been there. We've all been in those situations where relationships just get messy. And today we're talking about power of apology. We're talking, kind of wrapping this up, a lot of ideas. We talked about fighting. We talked about listening very carefully. We talked about burning out. We talked about what not to say to blow up a conversation. I've given you some great input in some of the things that I have struggled with. And today, I just kind of want to wrap this up with apology and why it's important, why it helps destroy those things that are getting in the way of your relationship. And so to just kind of kick it off, we know from like ancient Jewish proverbs that they talk about a wounded friend being more secure, more fortified than a mighty, secure, fortified castle-like city. It is harder to bring back a friend that is offended and hurt than it is to talk with a complete stranger that you may have made a comment to. And so what does that say about relationships? Because oftentimes relationships are very close to us. We're very much more vulnerable and open. So if that kind of stuff is true, how much more difficult is it to get the things right in relationship when there's a problem? Now, I guess you got to ask yourself some questions. You know, what do you want? You gotta know going into it that there's a crossroads that you have to either decide whether it is worth it to step away because there's too much hurt and pain, because it may be damaging to be in that environment, or you have to decide something's got to change. Change starts with me, and you got to go, what am I willing to give up in this? You got to ask the question, what's it worth? And then you got to get honest with yourself. You got to ask yourself and know what's going on. So, with that said, number one, we got to remember that hurting people lash out because they're in pain. And when there is a fight with someone that you're really close with, it can be that much more difficult because you're the person or they're the person that's hurt you, and in that the sparks are flying. And if you continue the cycle and nothing changes, it's just going to escalate and get worse because of the law of entropy. Things are moving from order to chaos, and if they're already chaotic, it's only going to get worse. So you got to make a decision to change. You got to get off the merry-go-round of the cycle because it's not going in a direction that's good. So moving on, here's my bonus point. Bonus points. Make sure when you're going into this that you set up a good environment, that there's not, the TV's not on, that just you're in a place of absolute distraction, that your phone's not right there looking at you in the face, that other people aren't around. Get away, get secluded with you and the person that are in this conflict that you're trying to resolve, because those other distractions are going to pull away and you're not going to be able to focus. Focus in on this thing that's important. So that's the bonus, that's the environment. Make sure it's good, make sure it's secure and clean, and that you can really get in and focus. So, apology. It leads to forgiveness. Why is forgiveness important? Because forgiveness can obliterate all offenses. And I got that from a good friend. He gave me the perspective, the framing up. It totally just removes it. It dispels any offense. And what's necessary is for you to draw a clean line in the sand. You have to, what forgiveness does, it makes a marker that you and that other person are going to move forward together. And yes, there may be some memories, but with forgiveness, you're agreeing that, okay, we understand each other, because in order for forgiveness to happen, oftentimes the person is going to want to know that, hey, do you actually understand what happened to me? Why I'm hurt? Make sure that stuff is very well covered. And if you do it right, forgiveness can obliterate the offense. It can create that unity that you need. It fosters that environment that I am understood, and it can bring about a restoring of the peace that has been broken for a long time. So that's what I got tonight. Power of apology. It's done wonders in my life, and I know that, you know, if you invest in it, it can definitely create a change for the better in your life.